Alright boys, we are back here in Dubai for another solid video. And in this video, basically just wanted to talk about something that literally nobody in the space talks about. Because chances are, if you're doing, 15, 20, maybe even 30K a month, but somehow like you still just blow all that money every single month, like the money just disappears, you can have one good month where you make 20, 30K, and then a few weeks later, you look at your Stripe account, and you compare that with your bank account and you're like, what the fuck, where's all the money, right? And trust me, like I've been there, okay? I know exactly how it feels. Hence why I'm kind of making this video, right? And you have to realize like it's not because you're bad with money or anything like that. And it's not because you need some fucking financial hack either, okay? Because the thing is that it's purely just because your identity isn't calibrated to hold that level of money yet, okay? And that's why you self-sabotage your way back down essentially. Now, I know that sounds pretty fucking weird to some of you. So if you're already making money, but then you lose it over and over again, the first thing I want you to understand is that making money and holding money is two completely different skills, my bro. A lot of people here in the space can make money, they can close clients, they can have a good month, they can hit a new, all-time high in terms of revenue and so on. But the moment the money actually hits your account, something weird happens, okay? You start spending immediately, you're buying fucking random shit. Suddenly you're at the restaurant, with your whole fucking family, you're booking trips, and you justify it as sort of like rewarding yourself, okay? Or you might even rush decisions as well. You hire too fast, you're trying to force scale, by fucking dumping a lot of money into ads that doesn't even work. And you make moves just to feel like you're actually doing something, right? And then 2-3 weeks later, you're sitting there like, how the fuck is the money already gone, right? You look at your bank account and it's like gone, right? And most people think that it's sort of like a discipline problem, okay? But it's not really about that, okay? It's purely like a comfort problem here, okay? Like you didn't lose the money because you're stupid. You lost it because your nervous system basically took you back down to what feels normal, all right? Like I want you to think about like identity like a thermostat or like an AC, okay? Because if you set the AC to 22 degrees, it doesn't matter if the room heats up to 30. Because the AC will basically automatically cool it back down to 22. And money works the exact same way, okay? And everyone has what I call an identity set point, okay? Which is basically like a level they're used to operating at. So if you're used to having, 5 to 10K in your account, that feels normal, right? Meaning if you suddenly have, 20, 30K in your account, that feels very unfamiliar, right? And unfamiliar doesn't feel exciting or safe to your nervous system, okay? It feels like a threat because your nervous system either feels safe or unsafe. Meaning, if you, for example, suddenly hit like 30K in a month, right, and you got 30K in your bank account, your nervous system doesn't say, cool, let's scale further to 100K a month. It says something is off, right? This feels unsafe, so let's go back to normal. And this all happens on a subconscious level, by the way, okay? What happens after that is that you basically create behaviors that bring you back down, you sort of self-sabotage. So you might start overspending, like avoiding your metrics, not reinvesting properly, basically fucking up momentum, like buying all sorts of shit, and you simply fall back into your identity set point, okay? Because that's what your nervous system feels safe at. Now, I want you guys to understand one thing as well, okay? Whenever I say feeling safe with money, okay, it might sound a bit gay, right? But what I mean by that is that your brain has simply one job, okay? And that is survival. It doesn't care about your goals. It doesn't care about your potential. It only cares about what feels safe and unsafe. Meaning what's familiar equals safe, and what's unfamiliar equals dangerous or like unsafe, right? And the reason why most of the time you kind of spiral back down is because you believe that more money equals more responsibility, and more responsibility equals more pressure. So when you suddenly have more money than you're used to, your nervous system goes, fuck, this is a lot, right? And that's why spending money actually feels relieving, right? Because when you spend, the pressure drops and you get dopamine from it. Also, your amount of responsibility is going to drop as well. And your nervous system is basically going to say, okay, now we're back to normal. And so that sort of like relief you feel after you spend all that money, it's not happiness, okay? You basically feel that your identity set point is reasserting itself. And this is the loop that a lot of people in this space get stuck in, okay? They grind, they finally have a good month, and they feel the pressure of holding more money than usual. So they do either one of two things, okay? They spend it and blow a fuck ton of it, or they just sabotage. But either way, the result is the exact same, right? They end up back where they started. And then they'll tell themselves, once I make more money, then I'll feel more stable. But you won't, right? Because the problem isn't the amount of money, it's the identity that's holding it. Meaning if your set point is 5K, 20K is gonna feel uncomfortable and unsafe. And the same goes for if your identity set point is at 20K, 100K is gonna feel uncomfortable and unsafe as fuck. The number doesn't fix the problem, it's the identity that does, okay? Because the identity is the root cause. It's the deepest form of I am. And the thing I wanna talk about as well is that environment fucks a lot of people up without them realizing it, okay? Meaning if you're still in your hometown, you know, around the same people, around the same sort of like income ceilings around there, same conversations with the same people 24/7, then your nervous system is basically gonna feel normal and safe there. Meaning it's gonna be very hard for you to scale because you're the one basically doing the best out of all of them essentially, right? And it's very like comfortable. And I personally went through this and felt that for a really fucking long period of time. And I wasn't stuck at that 20 to 30K a month level because I didn't know what to do, but I was stuck because I was just too comfortable. So whenever I got here to Dubai earlier this year and started being around people doing, you know, way bigger numbers than me, it was like a complete shock to me, right? Not because they were smart or anything, but because what I thought was, you know, a lot was just like pretty shit to them, right? And so the environment essentially just forced me to step into a new identity. And obviously with that came a whole bunch of new decisions that I had to make. And at that time, one of my friends basically told me like, bro, you literally know exactly what to do. Why aren't you doing it? And that's when sort of like those comfortable sort of like beliefs came to the surface, right? Such as like, what if I make less, you know, like what if it doesn't work? Or I outsource and hire, you know, a team once I hit, you know, 30, 40K in revenue. And I also kept telling myself that I need more experience with media buying before outsourcing it and all that stuff, right? It sounded very logical, but those beliefs weren't the real reason, because behind those beliefs was purely just fear, right? And that fear was what was driving my reality at the time and kept me stuck at that level because it felt so comfortable, me doing, you know, everything by myself, working 12 hours a day in my agency, doing all these low leverage repetitive tasks, right? And once you basically face that fear and step into hiring, it forces you into a new identity, okay? More responsibility, you have to step into being a leader, you have to own every situation and start delegating and thinking in terms of leverage. And if your identity isn't ready for that, then your nervous system is gonna resist and basically self-sabotage anything that looks like taking you there, right? Meaning you doing everything yourself feels way safer than stepping into being a leader and hiring and delegating. So people basically delay, right? They rationalize, they stay capped at that certain level for so many months. Now, you might be wondering, so how do you actually fix this without like overcomplicating it, okay? And it's actually very simple. The first thing is that you have to stop reacting to money immediately, okay? Let it sit with you, right? Teach your nervous system that nothing bad happens when money stays, okay? So whenever you make a fuck ton of money, you have a good month, just save the money. Like, just don't touch it. Just don't do anything with it, essentially, okay? And secondly, you have to stop those for fucking instant rewards, okay? You have to delay gratification, because delayed gratification retrains your identity, meaning you start feeling safe when you see those numbers in your account over a certain period of time. Now, the other thing that I would highly recommend you do as well is to just upgrade your environment, okay? Be around people where your current level is fucking shit to them. And there's so many great spots you can go to, you know, make that happen, you know? Here in Dubai, for example, or Marbella during the summer. Like, there's so many good spots that you can go to. And the other thing you have to do as well is that you have to make identity first decisions, okay? Meaning, what would the version of me who already is at my goal, you know, 50 or 100K a month, be doing in this situation right here? And then you basically act in alignment with that, okay? Because that's how the set point is gonna move. Because you start believing that you are at that 50 to 100K a month set point right now, and you basically act in alignment with that and look at that as proof. And then the results will come secondly. Like, boys, like, this is pretty much why most people get stuck making, you know, decent money but never actually scaling, because they keep trying to scale the business without upgrading the identity that has to hold it. And this is also why inside Quantum Consulting we don't just start off with giving you all the tactics, right? We start by recalibrating your identity and making that new set point feeling normal, by leveraging, you know, all sorts of like tools we have essentially. Because once your nervous system can hold money, making money becomes fucking boring, okay? because it's all about making your nervous system feeling safe at that new set point essentially, because that's exactly when you're gonna get there, because that's what feels safe to the nervous system. So yeah boys, that was pretty much it for this video. Hopefully it made a lot of sense for you boys, and let me know if you have any questions about this as well. And yeah, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you boys soon. Peace.